Hello, elementary social studies educators. This is Dr. Aaron Brewer, and this is a screencast to give you a feel for what the course looks like online and what we did in week 1. So this is really specifically for our new students coming into the course. However, it might be beneficial to everybody just as a refresher. So let's go ahead and get started. Here is what the course looks like to me, and here is what the course looks like to you. You'll notice we have 2 modules ready to go right now. We also have the Brightwave course materials down here at the bottom. If you enter the Brightwave's materials, you'll find that currently there are only 2 of the 4 books that you need. The other 2 books are physical copies that must be picked up at the bookstore on campus. Currently, they have 1 of the books. They do not have both just yet. The other book is coming in very soon. I have made a copy and posted that so that you can read that in the module. Coming back, right here are the modules. You will always, now if you're new to the class, you need to start here and take a look at the Welcome Course Overview. We have a digital syllabus. The digital syllabus contains answers to the questions that are frequently asked. Who is teaching this class? Me. But you can go there and find out more about who I am. Why are you taking this class? That's where you'll find the rationale and the purpose. This is the objectives and the standards, the books you need, and what you're going to do in the class daily, the major projects, which you can also access up here. I'm going to talk about these in the Prezi as well. Please take time to review our digital syllabus. You'll notice I address plagiarism, ADA, and grading. After you have considered the digital syllabus, you can go into Module 1, and you can take a look at the Module 1 overview. Every week there will be an overview that tells you what we're doing and why. There will be guiding questions that are the foundation of the course, and so last week we discussed our purpose as elementary social studies teachers. We've considered and reflected on what has been the social studies classroom that we have experienced and what it could be, and we've thought about our own strengths and weaknesses in the social studies. We've reflected on our apprenticeship, we've started to develop definitions, we're creating a vision, we're finding our strengths and weaknesses, we reviewed the syllabus as well. That's what happened last week. The readings that you'll want to get caught up on for last week: Powerful and Purposeful Elementary Social Studies, Teaching What Really Happened, Using History as a Weapon, and I give you some notes as well. Please make sure you have read these. These are the foundational documents for the course. We have more this week. Class time, I'll always identify something that we're going to be doing in class ahead of time so you know what to expect. Currently, there were no submissions. I decided to wait until the next week. Module 2, that's this week. The overview, again, is here with the guiding questions and the objectives. Please take time to look through all of this. The readings that are assigned for the week. You have your intro, you've got Chapter 5, Truth, and Chapters 1, 2, and 3. These are notational documents. These 2 articles for you to read are from the physical books that you may not have yet. And so this is the chapter from Social Studies for Social Justice. This is the chapter I want you to read from Teaching What Really Happened. You will have both of these books very soon. Note also, you must read Social Studies for a Better World, Chapter 1. Make sure you've read Chapter 1. That is a digital book available from Brightwave. We can go back now. That's the modules. That is what you should look at every week. It's usually open by Thursday, if not Friday morning. Most of the time it will be ready Thursday morning. This week I got a little behind. You are expected to have everything read, and you should come to class prepared. Make notes, have ideas, have questions. Always come prepared, having considered the materials that we've asked you to consider. In class last week, we went through this Prezi experience. I will always have some sort of a Prezi outline. It keeps us in line. It's like an agenda for the course. However, I use Prezi to construct that agenda. And we started with thinking about these two questions, or these two quotations from John Dewey and Bell Hooks. And so John Dewey there on the left, Bell Hooks on the right. Consider these quotations. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. What does that mean to you? How does that speak to you as an educator, as someone preparing to teach children in the elementary setting? How about this one? The classroom remains the most radical space of possibility in the academy. And you can say the academy is the collegiate level, but you could also argue instead of academy, you might say school. The classroom itself, that's where teachers can perhaps engage in the, not preparation for life, but engage in life itself. And that takes place in the social studies. Again, you'll notice the questions and the agenda match what you find in the overview module. So we did a little bit of thinking, and I handed out a document that we followed along that did a lot of this. But what is social studies and why is it important? You should take some time now, if you haven't done that, to write that down. And we took a look at this class. What's the role of the teacher in a consideration of elementary social studies? What's the role of the student? What's worth knowing in elementary social studies? And at the end of the day, my students, what is the purpose of elementary social studies education? What is it we're doing? And I asked you to tell me a story about that. So we took time to think about and share that story. We skipped this video. And then we reflected on the articles and the materials that we read for tonight. Again, Purposeful and Powerful Social Studies Education in Elementary Schools from the NCSS, as well as History as a Weapon. So I asked this question: who are we and what are we doing? How can history be utilized and taught as a weapon? What do we want to become as social studies educators? And I want you to always think about, what are those stories you can pull and think about from your past? What were your experiences? How did you use textbooks? I'll tell you now, I will never ask you to use a textbook in your teaching, because textbooks are highly problematic and represent most of the time a grand narrative. What was your apprenticeship of observation? Here's really the big question, students. Who are you motivated to be as an educator who teaches social studies? Why? What leads you to this? The concept of democracy? The concept of social justice? Freedom? Liberty? What is it that brings you to the table of social studies? What's your voice? Why are you here? And then we dove into the different parts of the syllabus. Yeah, at the end. So participation. We are going to engage in discussion. We will participate in activities. We will work with each other in small groups of 2, maybe groups of 3. There are 6 of you. And we're going to engage with each other face-to-face each week. At one point in the semester, you will actually teach a lesson, so be prepared to do that. But you'll notice the course format is democratic interaction. We're going to interact with each other. Teaching What Really Happened is one of the physical books you'll need to pick up at the bookstore. On the digital resume, or on the digital syllabus, there is the assignment guide. What you will do is you will select a chapter from Teaching What Really Happened, and you will develop a digital story about that chapter, and then you will teach us a lesson based on that chapter as well. You're going to write at least three lesson plans for me, following the guide that I provide. Yes, I know you all probably have different experiences with different professors, but here we are going to focus on conceptually developing our lesson plans. We have a social studies action research project, so you want to download and look over that assignment guide as well. This is where you will use inquiry to investigate a significant issue that you identify in the classroom or in the school where you are doing your observations. And then you have to suggest and provide the type of action or task to solve that problem. You will also write a unit plan. This is a 1 to 2 week unit with 3 to 5 individual lesson plans. All of the resources, all of the assessments will be included in this creation. And this is due at the end of the semester. Lastly, across the semester, you will build and maintain a digital resume. On this resume, you will have a blog. You are going to blog about your readings. So yes, you need to read and you need to think about the readings before class. And you will also use the blog to report on your experiences in your observations. Students, that's what we did last week. Next week, we're diving into here. We're going to start talking about concepts, truth, and compelling questions. If you have any questions for me, please reach out. There's a Google number available on the syllabus that you can download from our digital website right here. It says syllabus document and the reading schedule as well. So please, students, reach out to me through the Google number or email, and we can have a conversation prior to class. If not, I will see you Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. Everybody, have a great rest of your week.